My name is Honorable Adaobi Uchegbu from Anambra State. I was a PDP National Woman Leader aspirant in 2012 and in 2013. I am now a member of APC. I was one of the ladies Fani-Kayode spoke about in 2013 August, where he spoke about 3 Igbo women in whom he has allegedly had intimacy with. The first person he mentioned was Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, I, Honorable Adaobi Uchegbu, and another lady, Chioma Anaso. As at that time, I didn't feel the need to talk about this because I knew it was a drug stalking. I was calm because I felt it would all go away and he's a man not to be taken serious. I am talking now because I can see he is now becoming like an oncoming trailer who has lost control. And he's a danger to Nigeria, he's a danger to his family, he's a danger to himself. And the sooner Nigerians stop listening to him, the better for us. The reason why I'm speaking now is because Fani-Kayode has turned himself into an enemy of the Nigerian state. The Fani-Kayode that I know is a man of unstable character. This is a man whom I knew as a boss in 2002, 2003, 2004, 2006. The Fani-Kayode that I know is a very serial and serious pedophile. He has no scruples in sleeping with a woman of 15, 16, 17. I remember when we were working as SA to the president, as at that time Obasanjo, on media, he would always go to Sheraton at night to pick girls that wear all these house dresses, burqa, and he always picked the ones that were of very young age. And I always wondered, why is Oga behaving like this? I remember also in 2005, 2006, while we were living with Madam Jumoke Akinjide, and she was then the SA to Obasanjo on Abuja matters. And then the house girl to Akin Oshutoku used to come and visit Fani-Kayode, and she was no more than 16, 17 years. Unfortunately, she got pregnant for him, and then he denied the pregnancy. This is a man who must smoke weed. This is a man who must take a large or maybe a quantity of cocaine in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, in the office. And when I talk about it, he tells me this is what keeps him sane. This is a man I know that has a long track record of domestic violence. This is a man that has no scruples in hitting a woman. He has hit me before. He has hit many number of girls whom I have seen him with. This is a man that can just come out of his car and start fighting on the road. This is a man I know who has a very unique and unfortunate sexual experience. There was an instance when I flew in from Abuja, from Lagos to Abuja, to attend a meeting with Chief Fani-Kayode, and I walked into his hotel room in Brutia, in Asokoro, and there he was fighting with 3 girls in his hotel room. He even had to call the police. By the end of the day, he decided not to because he knew his name was at stake. The girls were raving mad. They accused him of all sort of things. They accused him that he wanted to film them making love to him. They accused him that he wanted them to make love to themselves. They accused him of so many things, and I was deeply ashamed of my boss at that time. I have seen a situation where Femi Fani-Kayode will come down from his taxi or from his car and physically fight taxi drivers, physically fight hawkers on the street, physically fight people. I have also had a first-hand knowledge of his beatings. He had more than one occasion given me a slap here and there because he said I'm always advising him too much. I know of certain that he beats his wife. I know of certain that this is a man that loves his children, especially his daughters, to the extent that I suspect would have led him to have sexual relations with them, because at that time he was also agitated about his children. He was always saying he never wanted his children to have a boyfriend. He can't just imagine his girls having boyfriends and husbands. And I think if that behavior has not been checked then, it could lead to a full-blown incest. Whenever I come into the office in the mornings, Chief Fani-Kayode is always bent over with a plate of white substances, which I suspected to be cocaine. And he's always smoking that as soon as a guy comes in. And Chief Fani-Kayode never lets us to know who this guy is. He never lets us to talk to him or even know his name. But the guy is tall, dark, and he would always come, drop a package for Chief Fani-Kayode and get some money and leave. And then Chief Fani-Kayode unwraps it, smokes it, and then he becomes violent. He starts shouting at everybody in the office. He starts beating everybody. Then he says he can only take that each time he wants to go for an interview, each time he wants to speak on behalf of the president, as at that time, that this is the only thing that gets him high. Those were his words. And I would always complain and say, you have a bright future. Why don't you stop it? This is not right. You're not teaching we that are around you a good behavior. And he would always threaten me. Even right now, he knows my parents' house. He would always threaten that if I ever talk about him in this kind of terms, he was going to get me or any member of my family. Chief Fani-Kayode always talked about his experiences in Ghana, as at that time I hadn't met him, because we met in 2002. He told me how disappointed his father was about his drug habit and how his father shipped him over to Ghana to get reprieve in a rehab, where he met his current wife, Regina. He told me how he couldn't complete the rehabilitation when his father died because at that time he felt it was okay. And then after a few years he started it, and that was when I met him. And I used to encourage him, why don't you go back to the rehab? And he says no, he wouldn't want to go there because he's after his name. We want people to say he's gone back to such dirty parts of life. Each time he has epilepsy seizure, he would always beg for us to keep it quiet, that he doesn't want people to know that it has always been part of him ever since he went to Ghana. I believe that silence is not the best thing to do at this time. At the time, Nigerians are clamoring for change, and then one man stands in front of Nigerians and say, no, this is the time for me to speak up, because Fani-Kayode was just purposely brought into this campaign by the PDP just to deflect the minds and hearts of Nigerians from the real issue of change agitation. He has been brought by the PDP just to be a court jester to make Nigerians laugh, and then they do the rigging. And that is why I'm speaking, because right now Fani-Kayode is an enemy to Nigeria. He's an enemy to the Igbos especially, because if the president of this nation and PDP could make a character as Fani-Kayode, director of media and publicity, a man who said he had slept with our revered leader, his wife, Bianca, then I think Igbos should not give one vote to PDP. And if any Igbos should do that, then that means they are spitting at the grave of our revered leader, Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu. We Igbos are known to protect our wives, and for the fact that Chief Ojukwu is with us in spirit and a character as Fani-Kayode spoke ill of his wife, that should make Igbos say no to PDP and embrace change. While working for Chief Fani-Kayode, I have seen him have carry a lot of cash from briefcases, in this kind of boxes, and he will give it to any of his aides to carry to the airport, even when he's traveling abroad. Even here in Nigeria, he takes a lot of cash to the bank to put in his account. So I believe that has formed part of what is the remaining 2 count charges at the court, which I believe the prosecution has enough to nail him this time around. Chief Fani-Kayode is merely in PDP to save his neck. He doesn't want to go to jail. And above all, he, I believe, is working for PDP because of what he can get now. The Fani-Kayode I know is a man who lives a very luxurious life, who can spend large sums of money in a day. He doesn't have this. He is prone to financial recklessness. He's prone to financial misappropriation. And he can only get that under the cover of PDP. And I have to speak now because he has constituted himself into a nuisance. Instead of him to do the work he's supposed to do, as in selling the bad product, which is PDP and Jonathan, he's delving into personal matters of our esteemed leaders in APC. And that is why I'm speaking now, so that Nigerians would not take him serious any longer. He has a long history of illegal drug abuse. He has a long history of repressed sexual behavior. He has a long history of sexual pedophilia and all that. And that is my submission, as someone who was close to him as at that time. I am Honorable Adaobi Uchegbu, and I am not coerced to say this. I have said this in the interest and love that I have for Nigeria. Thank you very much.